On today's episode of Real Estate Test Dummies, we're going to be digging into using postcards to sell new homes. We'll probably get into some other ways to use direct mail to get listings and to create clients or uncover client opportunities. But specifically, I'm going to, for my business, we're going to create a postcard campaign to sell some new homes in a community in the area here that are offering some great incentives for buyers agents and are, I think, a great value, and they've got a lot of inventory. So it should be lots of fun and applicable information for you to grow your business. If you're watching on Facebook, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're on YouTube, number one, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Number two, smash the bell. Be notified of new live sessions like these real estate test dummy episodes that we have been sharing every Wednesday at 1 Eastern. And make sure you hit the like button if you're watching on LinkedIn. Hit the like or the light bulb button. There are some great resources, additional training, and just lots of good stuff for you to help you grow your business that you can find above or below this video in the description, wherever you are finding this. And the platform we're going to use to send the postcards.
Mailbox Power.
What's that?
Mailbox
No, stop that. We're going to use thanks.io for that, of which Ryan is co-founder. And you can create a free account. It's scrolling across the bottom. The link is also in the description above or below. Go to growwithjosh.com/thanks. growwithjosh.com/thanks. You can create a free account there. Email mike@growwithjosh.com. mike@growwithjosh.com. We've got a bunch of additional bonuses, templates, resources, etc. that you can use. You can swipe and deploy or rip off and duplicate for your business. And I would highly, highly recommend, if you're going to send any sort of volume of postcards or direct mail, you upgrade to their business account. It is well worth the money invested. So again, what we're going to do, I'm going to actually do this live here. So you're going to see me fuddling and muddling and meddling my way through creating a postcard campaign that we're going to send to renters to try and sell some of these new construction homes in a specific community.
So I caught you did a video about that community on your YouTube channel recently. People can check out as well. And that was you trying to attract buyers for it.
It is, and in fact, here's what I'm going to offer. I think anyway. Actually, now I have to. For those interested, if you comment below or you email Mike, I will share with you. We are compiling a document with all of the marketing assets that we are, the marketing assets and collateral that we are compiling to sell houses in this community.
Yeah.
And there's an explanation as to why, but I'll just very briefly here tell you that it's a community where the builder, it's a corporate builder, and they don't they're inputting them into the MLS, but they're very specifically and on purpose incentivizing buyer agents to bring them business. So they're paying 3%, they're paying bonuses, they've got special financing, they've got builder incentives. There are a number of reasons why and they've got lots of inventory, and they're building more in my area. They're building more communities in my area. So it just makes sense for me and my team to align and hopefully sell some houses in there. But the other thing is, it's great. How do I want to say this? We're utilizing their inventory to build our clientele base.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that those clients buy a home in that community, but we're going to pick up clients one way or the other.
You're kind of borrowing listings. And the other thing the reason I brought that up is I noticed you're kind of picking this idea, but you're doing multiple things around it. You're doing like a multi-channel kind of funnel around that one thing. And it's not even your listing. It's cool. Yep.
And so that's an illustration of something that I shared on one of my sales organization huddles. I do coaching huddles 3 days a week for my sales organization. which, by the way, if you'd like to chat about that, you can go to growwithjosh.com/chat. But I was talking the other day about I am illustrating or implementing the idea of going an inch wide and a mile deep. I've been spending too much time and energy going a mile wide and an inch deep. I'm doing this here and that's here and this here and that here. I'm doing the opposite with this. Like, I'm going all in. We're going to build a pipeline. And, we're, as you said, we're borrowing this builder's listings to build that pipeline, knowing that new construction single family homes, we're going to get a pretty significant percentage from the other channels where we're marketing. We're going to get a decent percentage of people that already own a home. So we'll have a listing opportunity there. B, that we're going to get lots of clients that are interested in buying a home, but they don't like that neighborhood. Maybe they don't like the floor plans. They don't like the builder, whatever. But there are other new construction communities in that area that we can then take and represent them. And C, I forget what it was, but I guess C is that the reason why I'm focused on this one is they value buyer agents. Not all builders are like that, yeah. Right? And so we're going to take advantage of that fact as well. So let's, without further ado, without too much more yakking here, let's get into actually creating this campaign. Now, I'm going to build one around renters. However, we can take this same idea, and maybe I will actually, if this works on any level, we can take this same idea and send it to homeowners of let's say maybe townhomes or homes priced up to like half the price of the new construction homes. In other words, target potential trade up buyers as well. And maybe we'll even have time to dig into that today, but I'm going to start with renters because I did some legwork before this, and I played around with building a list around this. And so we're going to start with that as our initial leverage point. So I'm going to dig into, I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to go into thanks.io. And I thought it would make sense for me to build the mailing list first. We'll build the list, and then we'll create the actual postcard to send to that list. And you can use other data sources or providers to build your list if you'd like. You can upload a list in here. One of the things that I'm extremely excited about is thanks.io has an upgrade coming soon that will make it easier to build lists and find, for example, potentially motivated sellers and things of that nature. And
first-time buyers.
Yeah. Like so that's coming soon. But in the short term, right now, we can still use it in a number of different ways. So I'm going to choose on the left-hand side here for mailing list. I'm going to choose purchase custom list. And it's going to take, I'm screen sharing here, so it's going to take a minute to upload and give me that availability. So I'm going to choose individuals. And I'm going to leave these set here because I'm going to use the geographic and demographic criteria to narrow it down. So I've got individuals. I'm going to go to geography, and I'm going to choose the zip code where these properties are. Okay, where these new homes are. So I've got the zip code. Now the demographic criteria. I'm going to choose right here. I can choose homeowner or renter. I'm going to select renter, and I'm going to select income. Now, I had played with this criteria before because I didn't want this to be, I wanted to try and keep this moving along. So I had done, why is it doing
that? Pick from the drop down. Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. Maybe, yeah, there we go. Okay. So if this works like it did before, which you never know, 73. Man, what did I do before that got me? I got more than that before. I wonder what
I do. A wider radius or county or something.
Maybe I did actually. You know what? That's exactly what I did. It wasn't there. There are 2 Carlisle zip codes, and that's what I did. This will probably, that's the number I came up with, or maybe it was 143. Regardless, so I've got 144 records. I'm going to choose all of them, and for the whopping total of $14.33. I can buy this list. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the list.
And you can mail it multiple times. You don't have to buy it every time. So that's
a great point. So I essentially own this list. And today we're going to set up for one postcard, but I could send a campaign. So I could send a postcard, a note card. I could send them a gift card. I could send them a letter. One of the many reasons why, I love this platform so much. I can vary the type of direct mail that I'm sending. I can vary the messaging, and so forth. So certainly going to do that. But today we just want to set up and we're going to send one postcard to this list. So that's going to, while that uploads or is added in here, I think let's go ahead and build the postcard.
Just a pro tip for you, Josh. Click over on the mailing list where it says created at 9:21 while it's uploading.
Created.
Right there. You see that? Okay. Edit the name of it because sometimes you don't know.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Carlisle.
Yep.
Carlisle renters 75 to 250K plus.
Yeah, it's just a good practice. We probably should put some kind of call to action that has you name it, but yep.
Great call.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got our list. Now, what are we going to send them? Well, we're going to send them a postcard. And in this case, I'm going to send them a small postcard. I could send any number of different things, but I'm going to send them a small postcard as the first touch point. And Ryan, I don't know how much you saw, but what I want to play up in this, I just want to kind of I'm going to stop the screen share for a minute and just kind of talk like, marketing a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to highlight the fact that there is special financing available, that there are builder incentives available. We probably want to include a picture of one of the homes. So I'm thinking I'll use the dynamic builder because I can dynamically put the name of the renter on the front, although I'm not going to. The image I'm going to use is going to be not a dynamic image. It's going to be just an image of one of the properties. But I'm thinking that allows me to have a QR code on the front and the back. Does all of that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So let's go back to screen share. Whoop. No, I didn't. I hit the wrong button. Hold on.
And I assume your offer is going to be something like learn about special financing and builder incentives, as you're just saying. That's kind of the hook.
Yeah, that's definitely what I want to play up. And the fact that you can own a brand new home. This is part of how we'll kind of you and I are banter about or mastermind around this as we create this. So
we've got the mailing list built, and now we're going to do the
image. Go to image templates. I'm going to make the dynamic image postcard first. So I'm going to choose under dynamic images. I'm going to do image builder, right?
Yep.
And open up for me here. So I'm going to give this template a name. I'm going to call this Hayes Landing Renter Postcard.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of, so if we were, for example, maybe this isn't the best example, but one of the cool things about the dynamic image builder is you can dynamically insert a map view or a street view of the property of the person that you're sending to, or even to absentee owners. But we're not going to use that functionality here. What I'm going to do instead of a dynamic image is just upload an image of one of the listings.
Yep.
But just know that, and you can find, we'll even add, if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, we'll add a link above where you can see us building one of these where it is a dynamic image. In other words, an image that is specifically matching the property that we're sending the information to. I got to find the right image here. That one. So I'm going to insert. We're going to do that image. So it's an image of the new construction property. This postcard is going to have a QR code on the front and the back of the postcard. And not just that, we will be able to set right here the URL that we are sending people to who scan that QR code. And thanks.io, just another reason for you to create a free account below, growwithjosh.com/thanks. The way it works is when someone scans that, in this case, when one of these renters who receives this postcard, when they scan it, I will be immediately or almost instantaneously emailed notifying me that so-and-so, the recipient of this postcard just scanned the QR code. Why is that valuable? Well, if someone has taken the time to scan the QR code on this marketing message that I've sent them, I probably want to invest some time into following up with them and seeing if there's an opportunity to explore there with them. So anyway, I think I'm going to send them to a landing page. I've already created a landing page for this.
Yep.
I'm going to foreshadow something that a future session, maybe as early as next week on Real Estate Test Dummies, Ryan is going to take us through creating
a niche neighborhood page.
A niche neighborhood page and how to do it for free. But in this case, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a KV Core landing page. I'm going to use a KV Core landing page. And it just so happens that it's a landing page that has the video that Ryan mentioned and a way for them to opt in and get some more information about the neighborhood. So I've got to find that URL real quick here. Hopefully it loads up. I'm in KV Core. I've got to find my landing page for this. By the way, for those interested, we will be taking what we're sharing today and turning it into a step-by-step manual or guide. And if you'd like to have access to that, there should be a spot in the description where you can create a free account for that, or just comment below and we'll get back to you, or just email mike@growwithjosh.com and we'll be sure to get you that information. Now I've got a lot of them here.
I think it's date based, so you can scroll. Yeah.
You know what? I thought it was too, but you can sort by different criteria. And for some reason, the way it's sorting mine currently, it wasn't date based, but who knows? You can sort it by date as well. So I'm going to put that in here, and here's what that landing page looks like. And you could send them anywhere. You could send them to a YouTube URL, directly to the YouTube video. I could do that. You could send them to a niche neighborhood page, like we're going to share next week on this.
Josh, you know what I've done?
What's that?
What I've done when I'm being really lazy is just send them to your contact page.
Yeah.
If you don't want to build anything, you just send them to your contact page, because you're going to be notified when they scan anyway.
Yep.
And then you can manually send them whatever the asset was.
Sure. Yep. In this case, I've already got that built, so I'm going to utilize that. But don't let that don't let that be a hurdle or a stumbling block for you. It doesn't matter a ton where you send them, because everyone who scans is essentially a lead for you, because you're notified by thanks.io. So-and-so just scanned the QR code on the postcard that you just sent them that looks like this. Those emails, I get excited every time I get one of those, let's say.
I actually built an agent. If you need something kind of custom quickly, I built an agent, a Google Doc that was shareable.
There you
that
go.
The scan went to. So you could just say, hey, thanks for scanning, and give the info right in a Google Doc with the shareable link.
Lots of easy options for this. Tons of easy options. I'm going to upload a logo for EXP. That's who I'm with. And the last thing we need to do on this part of the card is we need to put a header and subheader. In other words, compelling copy or an offer of some type. So I'm going to insert their first name.
Josh, I want to warn you about something there. And this is just a little glitch in the system that we're actively working on with the new build of the list builder. If you choose first name, I believe it chooses Mr. or Mrs. in that list download.
Okay.
So it might say Mr. Ryan or Mr. Josh.
All right. Well, then I'll leave that off.
Be careful with that.
Yeah, I'll leave that off for now. Does that work? It doesn't work the same way on the back, though.
No.
Yeah. Okay. On the back of the card, we'll personalize it.
Yeah.
We're going to get to next.
You should be fine. You know what? Do me a favor. Put the first name in there. I'll make sure it doesn't happen on this one.
Okay. And we'll be able to see the preview once we send it, because we're going to actually send this out on the session here. So I'm going to say first name. I'm just trying to think here. How do I want to frame this? Because I don't want there to be too much copy. But
new house for a first name.
Ooh.
a brand new home for first name or something like that.
Brand new home for. I like having questions.
Yeah.
With
the subhead could be scan to learn about special financing or something, right?
The
Scan
QR code below to find out about special financing with rates 4% and
special financing builder incentives for first time buyers or something like that. If you can get those builder incentives or builder deals in there.
Yeah. I don't want it to be too lengthy, but the builder is offering special financing and closing cost help from 10 to 15,000. So I'm trying to figure out how to communicate that in a compelling way.
Okay, up to 15,000 available for first time buyers.
Yeah, and
I mean that could be the whole subhead. Just get right to the chase, right?
Yep. And up to 15K in closing costs help. Or
yeah, this may end up being too long. Let's see what the preview looks like.
Yeah. Well, we might have to break it up into the header and the subheader.
Yeah.
So let's generate preview. Scan the QR code below to find out about special financing with rates under 4% and
closing cost help. Yeah.
So I asked my wife that. What's the right way to do that? Is it singular or plural? I thought it was closing cost, and she was like, I think it should be cost.
It probably doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean it's not. We're splitting hairs, but
is that that's the actual image of the property, right?
Yes, that's one of the properties. Yes.
Yep.
This looks pretty sharp, I think, right? Now I could do, you could choose different, there are different templates here, but I think this works.
The only thing I might do, and I guess you're fine on this side, but you're probably gonna want to mention the subdivision in the message body, right? The name of the subdivision somewhere.
Sure, yeah. Scan the QR code below to find out about special financing, and I don't want a question mark.
And this is tough to do live, this copywriting.
Yeah, you know what, full transparency.
You'll probably tweak it.
Had this done ahead of time, but you're seeing how this happens live, right? You're seeing us muddle through, and I think there's a value to that. Could I spend more time on this and make this better? Probably, but you know what? Done is better than not, and so we're going to save this, and we're going to move on to the back.
And I want to make a quick comment about those images because we hear from people, hey, I don't really want the red. I want a special design, and all I can say, if you're thinking that now, it really doesn't matter. And these specific cards, for whatever reason, are just working and pulling. But I see
there are options too. Like you can, there are some options, but don't.
You don't need to spend 2 hours designing something here or pay somebody to do something.
Your copy and your offer is more important. That's what's most important about this. Okay, so we've got the image template. Now we need to make the message template, or what shows up on the back of the card. And so, you know what? I'm going to grab something first.
Copy one you already wrote?
Well, no. What I want to grab is a little extra template here. For the back of the card. I just want to have that. Which again, this is not mission critical, but I've already got it done. And it's something that if you need help, and I screwed it up. It's something that if you need help
Control Z.
Oh, Control Z. Yeah. Well,
Command Z for you Mac heads.
It's something that if you need help with, we can certainly help you. But it's just a little. When I make the template, I'll show you what it's actually doing.
And so Josh, that's going to be built into the system moving forward too, very soon.
Oh, sweet. So
it won't be as cool as yours. Yeah.
Well,
we'll have to do the Josh version with the red arrow.
Okay, so not as cool as mine, or as idiotic.
It'll put your picture and your contact info by default on that side.
Gotcha.
Without the red arrow. Yeah.
Gotcha. So we're going to add message. And I'm going to put that background image URL here. And the only reason this is behaving so slowly is because we're screen sharing. Normally this would not be lagging, let's say. Okay, so now I've got my fun, silly image here. I'm going to put that same URL, which I could have chosen by default on the other template. We just kind of glossed over that, but you can choose from the dynamic image to have it be the same URL as your QR code on the back of the card. Regardless, it's not a big deal to put it in both spots. We're going to give it a name. So Hayes Landing, renter, postcard, message, whatever. Just so you know what it is. That's really all that matters. How would you like to own your very, no, how would you like to,
Well, I might introduce the subdivision, just my take.
Yeah.
You know, like XYZ subdivision.
Did you know that Hayes Landing is offering special financing and to 15K in closing?
Yeah, just hit them over the head with the benefits, right? But right away. Are these first-time buyers you're sending to? These are renters.
These are renters.
That's up to you, but I like to, maybe call out their situation somehow. And first-time buyer might do that.
I like it. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to put for first-time buyers.
Yep.
If you've been considering,
that's a big word, Josh.
What's that?
Considering.
Considering.
I'm critiquing your copy, right? It should be like,
yeah.
If you've been thinking about buying a house or something.
Yeah.
Now I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, listen, that's a good point. If you've been thinking about buying a new home, you should scan the QR code to the right or text VIP to 717. Now, I have already created a smart code.
Nice.
To request your private free, or I'm going to mix it up here, free private VIP tour now.
Are they going to see pictures of the homes in that subdivision or anything when they get there? I didn't look at your landing page.
If they opt in, so they're going to see my video, and then if they opt in, we immediately take them to a communities page where they can see all the information.
I would somehow tease in the message that they can browse the available listings. When they scan, if you can make that
you know what? I'm going to go PS when you
when you scan, you'll be able to
QR code, you'll be able to check out all available homes.
They're awesome. They're awesome! Exclamation point.
Yeah, they're awesome. Now I got to put, I got to do some of the legal stuff here. Josh.schoenly, EXP Realty, LLC, and I got to put. I always forget what my office number is. The nice thing is I can I get to put my office number with a with an extension if I can only find it here.
You guys have extensions now? Or is
we do. So it's a nice little workaround. Like, we're required in the state of Pennsylvania to put our office number anytime we have our number, but we can put the our extension. So even though I'm meeting the requirement and also on some level able to make sure that I'm not losing business. Now some people don't punch the extension or whatever, but okay, so I don't know. So Thanks.io offers how many different handwritten fonts?
It's like 12 or 13. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we should do a handwritten or just do the normal print on this.
I've been using the print a lot just to make it more legible. It depends on the message, how personal it needs to feel. This is going to feel a little like an ad, but that's okay, right? It's straight up unabashedly a solicitation. So
yeah, and it's a compelling it's a compelling offer that we're making. So I'm going to use the normal print, but I could use whatever. There's lots of options there. I do think it being legible is important. And I think some of that also relates to the audience you're sending the message to. In other words, if, for example, you're sending a piece of direct mail or a postcard to the older population that may not have the best eyesight, I probably would go with normal print to make it as easy as possible for them to read it, versus, depending on other audiences, it may be easier for them to read it. Nonetheless, enough about that. I think this is good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and save. And now the fun part, we're actually going to send this out. And then I'm going to check to see that we have, if we have any comments or questions. Oh, it is saved. Go ahead, Ryan. I think you were saying something.
Yep. I was making sure you got the merge tag in there. You did for the first name. So that's good.
Name. So I'm going to click send now. And by the way, you can merge other things in there as well. So you could merge, depending on who you're sending this message to and what the message is, you could merge in their existing property address. You can add custom fields when you upload or create a list and merge in different things there. So, personalizing communication, whether it's direct mail, email, text message, whatever the case may be, the more personalized, the more congruent, the more compelling the messaging, the more response you're going to get. And, and that's all good. So I'm going to choose the small postcard. Now, the pricing here is I have a business account and I have upgraded to what you guys are now calling Print Protect, I think.
Yeah, it's Print Protect. It just adds another layer to the card and they get a lot more sturdy.
So I'm going to share. Can I share? Yeah. This is an example of them. It is really good quality with the Print Protect. Really good quality. So I think it's worth like the 10 cents.
Yeah, and the post office can mangle the cards. That's the whole idea there. It happens here and there.
Will. So it's, in my opinion, if you're going to go through this time and effort and investment, it's worth a little bit extra to make sure you've got a good quality card going out. So anyway, that's where this pricing is arrived. If you're using the free account, you're going to see different pricing there. This is a little bit discounted because I've got the business account.
Yep.
So I'm going to first choose this design that we made. I'm going to read it one more time to make sure I don't a brand new home for, now it says first, but I'm pretty sure that'll work. Scan the QR code below to find out about special financing with rates under 4% and up to $15K in closing costs help for new buyers. I'm going to click continue. And then we're going to choose the message on the back, which is the Hayes Landing renter postcard message right there. Did you know that Hayes Landing is offering special financing and up to $15,000 in closing costs help for first-time buyers? If you've been thinking about buying a new home, you should scan the QR code to the right or text VIP to blah, blah, blah to request your free VIP tour now. And then information when you scan the QR code. Now, I'm reading that aloud, which is kind of, you may be like, why are you doing that? When you read your copy aloud, number one, you are more likely to find mistakes that you've made or words that you've missed, etc. And it also ensures that the copy is in your is personalized to you. It's the way in your vernacular, the way you speak, etc. And I think that's important. So anytime you're sending an email, a text message, direct mail, whatever the case may be, reading your copy or what you've written aloud, I think ensures that A, you don't have like glaring mistakes, and B, that it fits your personality and your way of communicating. So I click continue. I am, existing list, because we've already created the list. Now, the nice thing here is I could do the purchase process now. If I hadn't done that already, we could do that at this step in the process.
Or resend the campaign to a new list if you want to send to another set.
Yep. Right, 100%. And the map functionality is what is receiving a significant upgrade over the next few weeks. So look for that as well. And I'm sure we will make everyone aware of that once that happens. So I'm going to send that to 144. This is another preview here. It's going to be $106.
Big spender.
Big spender. I'm going to hit submit order and send now. And a couple of things I'll mention about this is, number one, you have an hour to abort. If, for some reason you change your mind or you realize that you had a glaring mistake or something happens, you can cancel the order. You've got an hour window to do so. And the second thing is we can now go ahead and view the order to see what it looks like. So it's rendering, which I've noticed that it takes a minute when it's this close to like submitting the order. It can take a minute to load up. But the other thing I'll point out while that is rendering and finalizing is you can check on the status of your order of, once it's been printed and it's in transit, local area, et cetera, et cetera. And also keep in mind that even though, don't panic if it looks like your cards have been delivered and you haven't gotten any response yet. Sometimes, it could take a day or two, or, just be patient with that, right? If it's been several days since it said delivered and you haven't gotten any activity, then it might be, you might want to check on and see what's up. Or it may be that you didn't send out enough to really generate any type of interest. There could be any number of reasons why, that you're not seeing activity. Activity being people scanning the card, right? That's one of the beautiful things about this is that it gives us a way to see if even if people scan and they don't submit their information, we can get a feel and a sense if this is a postcard that's working and compelling because of that. Whereas traditional direct mail, you're flying more blind, let's say.
Josh, I'm curious. Do you get calls from people who've gotten cards a while ago? Because you're one of Banks.io's biggest power users, and you've got a lot of paper sitting in people's houses.
Certainly not a ton,
right?
But it's one of the reasons why I mean, we've been investing in my local production. We've been investing a considerable amount of money each and every week and month into direct mail because I want that physical collateral in my prospects' possession. I want to give them things that they can hang on to, that they can put on their refrigerator, that they can put in their, their mail pile or whatever, that they can put in their junk drawer, that they may return to when their motivation changes, right? I'm sending out 144 of these. I have no idea how many are going to be interested and respond to this initial thing. But what I know is there's going to be some percentage of them that will hang on to this, that will stick it on the refrigerator. And maybe they're not interested now because they have 6 months left on their lease. But when they get 3 months or 2 months left, they may come back and call me or text me or scan the QR code. And, I've got that opportunity. So you're putting out, whereas, with social media marketing and some of the other channels, there's a very short and finite shelf life. When you send postcards, when you send direct mail, when you do this type of marketing, there's a longer shelf life. Now, will some people just throw it directly in the circular file? Absolutely. But a certain percentage will hang on to it. And your ROI can grow over time when you do this kind of stuff. It looks like the merge worked. A brand new home for Mary. And then on the back, Mary, did you know that Hayes Landing is offering? So that's pretty cool. And here, what we'll do is, I'm sure on a future Test Dummies episode, we'll share, once that hits, what the activity was, how many scans we got, things of that nature. And in fact, I'm going to actually pull up an order that I sent out recently. A small order of just sold postcards. and the scan activity, because I really I can't emphasize enough how awesome that QR code function is, because there is very little positive that has come from the pandemic. But one thing from a marketer's perspective is and I'm going to use a big word here, the ubiquitous use of QR codes, or the more mainstream use of QR codes, right? It's become way more mainstream to use QR codes. You see restaurants using them for menus and lots of other examples, at doctor's appointments and things of that nature. And so people are more conditioned or trained to utilize QR codes, and we can take advantage of that from a marketing perspective here with what Thanks.io has built and included native to their platform.
Yep.
So trying to find this one just sold.
Yeah, and honestly, there's a few questions here, Josh. I'll run through them real quick.
Yeah.
The glossy cards don't smear. That's the idea with the print protect. It actually stops that effect for the Facebook user. It just says Facebook user in our thing here. So that'll protect that.
When it's people from a group commenting, for some reason the groups block who the name
I
is.
got you.
It's a real person asking. We're not making this.
Yeah. Facebook user.
Yeah.
The zip code Winifred was the prospects. So Josh was building a list of people who lived in that zip code.
Yep. I found one. I wanted to point out one here. And actually, it wasn't a zip code. It was a town. I initially chose one singular zip code, and it was pretty small. And that town, there's 2 different zip codes. And I figured, I mean, it's all the same town. It's the same place that all these homes are. So when I switched it to the entire town, that's when we got to the list of whatever, 144 or whatever it was. I'm going to show an example of a just sold postcard. Just another reason why I think you should use Thanks.io. This is for a listing that I recently sold. Now, this was a double wide in a park, and maybe not my ideal client, but it came through some Facebook marketing, which foreshadowing. We'll put a link up above. This is last week we talked about Facebook ad campaigns that are working right now. So this was a client that came through an ad campaign, and I ended up sending. Now it says I sent 60. For some reason the tracking, 60 were delivered. Okay. For some reason I didn't think it was all 60 were delivered. I got 3 scans. So what is that? That's 2%, right?
Well, no, it's more like 6%.
Oh, it's 5%. It's 5%.
Yeah.
It's 5%.
It's around 5.
Yeah, 5% of people scan. But here's the most important thing. I already picked up a second listing in this park. I listed it this morning from this just sold postcard. And I have another one where I thought we were going to list it also this week. She kind of changed her mind. I think she's going to hold off till the springtime. But my guess is she's a little wishy-washy. My guess is if I continue to follow up with her and I take the buyers that we generate from this one that I listed this morning, and I come back to her and say, hey, if you're still considering selling, I've got some more people. Anyway, from a $46 investment, I think that's what I spent, $45.88. I got one additional listing and a possible second. Obviously, attorney disclaimer here. I'm not guaranteeing that will be the same for you, blah, 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 blah. But, it's a great, easy way for you to multiply your listings, to take, and this is another topic that came up on one of my sales organization coaching calls, borrowing listings that have recently sold of office listings, right? That's a great way that you can leverage listings that weren't even your own. Or if you were the selling agent, not the listing agent, you should absolutely be sending out just sold postcards, right? And you can legally. You have to disclose whatever, depending on your state, blah, blah, blah. But that is one of the most effective ways you can farm a neighborhood or get more business from a particular area that you're looking to grow your client base or your pipeline of business. So, all right. Any other questions? Let's see here. How do you know that the renters are anywhere near qualified to buy anything? I have no idea, and I don't care. They've got good income, and
that's it. That's the answer. It's kind of, you filtered as well as you could for something that tells you they might be qualified.
And we could have done other filtering things, but I'm in a very rural area. And by the way, just so you can send me your referrals, I service Central Pennsylvania, Cumberland County, Dauphin County, Perry County, and most of York County. And my team services even outskirts.
You're more likely to send me a referral because I live somewhere cool.
What's that?
So they're more likely to send me a referral down here.
Oh yeah, I know. Tampa, St. Pete area, blah blah blah. Yeah. So let's see here. Okay, I think we got all the questions. So there you have it. There is a way that you can use postcards to sell new homes, or it doesn't even have to be new homes, right? You can use postcards to sell. This may be something that you've got a listing in an area, and you send just listed postcards, but you choose a very targeted list of renters. Because maybe it's a 3-bed, 2-bath townhome, or it's an ideal starter home. Or like I mentioned at the beginning, the other way you could approach this or attack this, and I'll probably actually send another round of these postcards next week, would be to target existing homeowners. In this case, new construction single family homes that we're marketing for, existing homeowners, but that are in starter type of homes. Right. So in homes that are, I could do any number of filtering around that, where based upon the estimated value of the home, or the number of stories, or, maybe I just target townhomes. There's any number of ways that you can kind of create targeted lists and then use compelling and, value proposition, sort of unique offerings to get response. So,
Josh, I got to run. I keep forgetting I have a kid to pick up at 2. I shouldn't have to.
Well, this was great. Go ahead. For those that, if you want help with any of this, number one, the first step is to create a free account at growwithjosh.com/thanks. Number two, check out all the additional resources, training, replays, etc., above or below this video in the description. Email my guy, Mike at growwithjosh.com if you have questions, if you need help, and to get access to the bonuses that I mentioned and promised on today's session. Next week, on our next session, we are going to dig into creating niche-specific neighborhood websites. There will be extremely valuable for those who are interested in farming-specific neighborhoods, both offline and online. And we're going to marry up some different things that I've been testing and playing around with Google pay-per-click as well. Thanks for spending some time. If there's anything at all we can do to help or support you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Email Mike, comment below, find us on social. We're happy to help any way we can. Get out there, take action, and hopefully chat soon.